are between 75 and 85 years old and still maintain these 6 habits every day belong to an astonishingly small group of seniors who retain their independence significantly longer than most others. The crucial question is, how many of these do you still practice today? Many believe that physical and mental decline is inevitable with age. However, research on aging shows something different. It is not age that determines this, but the habits you maintain or give up every day. I am Dr. Thomas Weber. For over 30 years, I have been accompanying older individuals and repeatedly observed the same pattern. Seniors who are still shopping, driving, tending to their gardens, and living independently at 80 usually do not have extraordinary genes. They consistently do some simple things that many others have long since given up. A long-term study from the Stanford Center on Longevity showed that seniors who at least 4 of these 6 habits can reduce their risk of losing independence by 61%. Today, I will show you these 6 habits, and I promise you, especially number 1 has nothing to do with sports or nutrition and is still one of the strongest factors for healthy aging. Before we begin, please briefly write in the comments how old you are and how many of these 6 habits you believe you still fulfill today. Then we will take a look at the first one. Place number 6, strategic hydration by plan. Most people at their age believe that hydration simply means drinking water when they are thirsty. This is a dangerous misconception after the age of 75. Your kidneys lose about 40% of their filtering capacity as they age because the fine nephrons work more slowly. At the same time, your natural thirst sensation in the brain is dulled because the osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus dulling. They are often already dehydrated before they even notice it. Scientific data from the European Journal of Nutrition shows that seniors who drink more than 1.8 liters of water daily have a 38% lower risk of urinary tract infections. Additionally, the risk of falls decreases by 29% because water is essential for the neural processing time of their brain and the balance fluid in the inner ear. Let's take the example of Marty from Berlin. The 81-year-old Marty complained of constant dizziness when getting up and a dense fog in her head in the afternoon, which is why she gave up her walks. She was not sick, but chronically undernourished. I advised her to drink 400 milliliters of water every morning right after getting up with a tiny pinch of unrefined sea salt. Here comes a vital rule. Be sure to drink this water before the first coffee. Coffee has a strong diuretic effect and flushes out the last fluid reserves from the tissue. The unrefined salt provides sodium and trace elements that act like mochlysol to open the protein channels of the cell membranes. Without these mineral traces, normal tap water simply flows through their stomach, burdens the kidneys, and is excreted unused. After 6 weeks of consistent use, Marty felt like a new person. Her thinking was crystal clear. The afternoon fog completely disappeared, and her balance while walking was absolutely stable again. Place number 5, strength training against muscle wasting. Many seniors are very afraid of weights or resistance bands because they believe they must protect their joints to avoid osteoarthritis. However, modern geriatrics teaches us the exact opposite. If they protect their muscles, they atrophy. Only through targeted mechanical resistance can they break through the so-called anabolic resistance. This means that their muscle cells at an older age have You need a stronger physical signal to absorb amino acids from food and build new tissue. A 50-year-old builds muscle with minimal effort while your body demands a clear, intense signal. If you do not challenge your muscles specifically, sarcopenia progresses relentlessly. This insidious biological degradation of skeletal muscle not only reduces your strength, but also decreases bone density and increases the risk of dangerous falls by 47%. A clinical study from Tufts University proves that just 2 structured training sessions per week can increase leg strength by an average of 37% and double the density of mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, after only 10 weeks. Use simple elastic resistance bands in your daily life or do controlled push-ups against the wall. The key here is the iron geriatrics rule. Consume within exactly 30 minutes after the training about 30 grams of high-quality protein. After the age of 75, the metabolic time window for protein synthesis is extremely short. If you miss this precious opportunity, the entire training effect remains almost ineffective, as the body cannot repair the damaged muscle fibers and instead falls into a catabolic or degrading state. Can you currently stand up from a deep chair using only the strength of your legs without the help of your arms? Please write yes or no in the comments. This simple ability is one of the strongest medical indicators of your remaining leg strength, your fall safety, and your long-term autonomy in daily life. Place number 4. An iron sleep schedule. After the age of 75, the pineal gland in the brain produces about 70% less melatonin than in your younger years. As a direct consequence, the proportion of deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep, decreases by up to 80%. This is not harmless cosmetic problem of age. During this deep sleep stage, the lymphatic system of the brain becomes active. One can imagine it like a nightly garbage collection that flushes metabolic waste from the nerve tissue. A study from the University of Berkeley shows that chronic sleep deprivation accelerates the deposition of harmful amyloid plaques in the brain by 68%. These proteins are the biological fuel for Alzheimer's dementia. The healthiest elite of seniors does not simply sleep longer uncontrollably, but sleeps according to a strict rhythmic schedule. Go to bed every evening within an exact time window of 30 minutes and always get up at the same time in the morning, regardless of whether it is a weekday or the weekend. This stabilizes your internal circadian clock. Keep your bedroom consistently cool, ideally between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius, as the body's own thermoregulation in. As age decreases and a room that is too warm blocks deep sleep. Avoid bright light and screens for at least 60 minutes before sleeping to not completely destroy the minimal melatonin production. My special medical tip: breathe deeply and slowly into your belly for 10 minutes right before falling asleep. This simple breathing technique stimulates the vagus nerve. Your parasympathetic nervous system lowers your evening cortisol levels by 22% and opens the biological gate to deep, restorative sleep. Place number 3, the targeted distribution of protein. There is a widespread, extremely dangerous myth in Germany that states that people need less meat, fish, or protein as they age because metabolism slows down. The opposite is the biological reality. Due to the aforementioned anabolic resistance, you need 50 to 75% more protein per kilogram of body weight today than a 30-year-old person. Only through a massive intake of amino acids can they stop the permanent decline of their mobility. A large-scale analysis of over 2,700 seniors shows that a daily amount of at least 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight drastically reduces the risk of severe fall injuries and associated hospital admissions. Let's consider the fate of Jürgen from Stuttgart. The 78-year-old former engineer lost 9 kilograms in weight within a short time during retirement. He became increasingly weak, shaky, and unsteady on his feet. His grip strength, which is considered a fundamental biomarker for longevity and vitality in modern geriatric medicine, had dropped to the 15th percentile of his age group. He could hardly hold a coffee pot securely. We radically changed his diet. Instead of a carbohydrate-rich coffee with pastries, there were now 25 to 35 grams of pure protein at each of the 3 main meals distributed over eggs, fish, lean meat, and quark. The brain and the muscles. In old age, large amounts of protein can no longer be processed efficiently at once, which is why distribution into 3 portions is vital. After 12 weeks, Jürgen had regained 5 kilograms of pure muscle mass. His grip strength climbed back up to the 60th percentile. He fills me with pride today when he tells me that he can carry his heavy groceries completely alone from the car into the house again. Always combine your protein with vitamin C, for example, a splash of fresh lemon or bell pepper, since vitamin C is the necessary cofactor to convert amino acids into stable collagen for your tendons and joints. Has your family doctor ever specifically addressed your daily protein needs or the impending muscle loss? Just write yes or no in the comments. It is medically alarming how often this vital topic is overlooked in annual checkups. Routine examinations are completely ignored. Place number 2, daily social interaction. This next point may not sound like classic medical advice to many seniors at first, but the scientific data from Brigham Young University is completely clear. Chronic social isolation is as dangerous for their life expectancy and their vessels as smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Loneliness is not just an emotional state, but a biological stress factor that increases the risk of dementia by 41% and significantly raises inflammatory markers in the blood, such as C-reactive protein. When you actively engage with people, discuss intensely, or laugh together, your brain immediately releases the hormone oxytocin. This hormone dampens the release of stress hormones and protects sensitive nerve pathways from dying off. Let's take the example of Renate from Munich. After the death of her husband, she completely withdrew from the neighborhood, hardly left the house, and mentally deteriorated rapidly within a year. She forgot names and lost her sense of direction. On my urgent medical advice, she joined a local book club and began volunteering twice a week at the city library. She had to disagree, argue, and listen. Within just 8 months, her memory scores on neurological tests improved significantly. Her brain needs human interaction like an intense muscle stimulus. Seek out a genuine, conscious encounter every day. A short phone call with family counts, but a face-to-face conversation is the true biological fertilizer for your mind. Place number 1, the cognitive boundary experience. We have now arrived at the most important and influential habit to remain mentally independent in old age. It is the daily cognitive challenge at the limit of their capabilities. I am explicitly not talking about simple crossword puzzles related to documentaries or the passive reading of the daily newspaper. These things are good, but the aging brain is extremely efficient at utilizing already known neural pathways. It consumes hardly any energy in doing so. If you only do that in your daily life, the nerve cells become less worthwhile, and your mental reservoir continuously shrinks. To truly protect your brain from decay effectively, you need to learn something completely new, something that feels extremely difficult, unfamiliar, and almost uncomfortable at first. Data from the American Academy of Neurology impressively shows that consistently learning a completely new language in old age can delay the onset of dementia by an average of 4.5 years. Moreover, researchers from the University of Edinburgh demonstrated through detailed MRI scans that seniors who engage in 30 minutes of daily learning new complex skills, showing 47% slower brain aging. Let's look at Hans from Hamburg. At 79 years old, he began oil painting after a difficult period of mental sluggishness. He had never held a paintbrush or worked with colors in his entire life before. In the first months, he was deeply frustrated because his hands did not do what his mind wanted. However, he remained disciplined and practiced on the canvas for 30 minutes every afternoon. After 18 months, his memory was measurably sharper than it had been 10 years earlier. He built entirely new nerves, connections, and synapses because he forced his brain to work through productive discomfort. My special medical tip: always combine this daily mental boundary experience with a high intake of omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA from fatty sea fish like herring or mackerel. These fatty acids form the physical building blocks for the new cellular connections that they activate through learning. The time between 75 and 85 years is not a passive farewell, but a phase of active decisions. Your body possesses an enormous biological resilience even in old age if you give it the right impulses. Strategic hydration, strength training against sarcopenia, A solid sleep schedule, targeted protein distribution, social contacts, and mental boundary experiences are your tools to secure your autonomy in the long term. Start today with just one thing. Did this scientific perspective help you? Then show me with a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel and activate the bell for your health from 60 onwards. Share this video via WhatsApp with your friends from the senior group or your family. A small hint can save an independence today. But physical fitness is only half the rent. There is another an inconspicuous spot on your body that sends a hidden warning signal for an impending stroke. A small diagonal fold on your earlobe, the so-called Frank sign. In my next video, I will show you exactly what to look for in the mirror this evening. Stay critical and healthy. Your Dr. Thomas Weber. This video is for general information only. It does not replace professional medical advice, examination, or diagnosis by a licensed physician. Do not change or discontinue existing medications on your own. If you have pre-existing conditions, be sure to consult your treating physician before making any changes to your lifestyle. M.